2005 through 2010 Scion TC with the 2.4 liter engine valve cover replacement. I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps of replacing that. So we're going to get started by removing this top engine cover, by removing the nuts here and here. Now you can lift up and set aside.
Next, we're going to unplug all 4 of the coils and also unbolt all 4 of the coils and pull them out. And I'm just going to pull them out one at a time and set them aside in order the way I took them out. And the best way to get these coils unplugged is you actually push the connector in towards it and then push the tab and then pull off. Once you get them all unplugged, you can kind of just flip the wiring harness up and out of your way. We're just going to unbolt it here. There's just one. Any valve cover? Yeah, I'm filming here. So now that I got the coils out, I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the wiring harness right here in the corner. Unbolt that, and then right here on the front of the cover is a little bracket that holds the wire loom down. You can either take it off here and slide it off, but it's actually easier just to take the bolt out. Now that I got the bolt out here and here, next I'm going to take this vent line here and take the little clamp, squeeze it, push it off, push the vent line, and then you'll be able to get the wiring harness and kind of flip it out of her way. To take this vent line off, it can get rock hard, and if it does, it's most likely going to break when you take it on and off. If it isn't like that, you may want to order up a new hose. I'll link one up in the description of the video, along with the valve covers and tube seals, and also I'll throw in the tools that I'm using.
So in this video I'm using the Milwaukee
M18 fuel 3/8 drive cordless impact gun here. This thing is amazing. This thing will save you so much time. I'll link this up in the description of the video also. That way if you guys are interested in checking this out, as you're going to see me use it in this video, and this thing kicks butt. So this wire loom is hard mounted further down. So when I go to take this valve cover in and out, I'm just going to hold it back like this and have somebody flare the harness out of my way like that. And then I'll put the valve cover on and take the valve cover off the same way. But just by pushing this out of my way, I'm not going to unbolt the whole thing. So once you got this vent line off, the next one is the PCV hose here in the back. We're going to take that off. Okay, now that you got the vent line off, you can start here in the corner and start removing the nuts and bolts. So there's going to be a combination of nuts and bolts that we're going to remove. So there's going to be 10 of them in total. So you're going to start here in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and remove all of those. Okay, once you got all 10 of the bolts removed, you're going to take a flat blade screwdriver or a pry bar like this one and put it right here in the corner and give your cover a little pry. And then you're just going to push your harness off and lift the valve cover out. So my old gaskets ended up staying onto the head here, so if yours did too, you just go ahead and peel that off. And also the tube seals here in the middle. And you also want to be careful of this stuff in the middle right here. It tends to break apart and fall into the engine bay. So if it's doing that, you need to retrieve all the pieces that fall into the cylinder head here. So be aware of that when you take the cover off, that it sometimes will break apart, and as you see, it broke right there. And so any of these little pieces may fall in there, so you may have to retrieve that stuff out. And also see around the bolt holes how this is, you need to make sure that all that's removed. And if your gasket stayed in your cover like that, then you would go ahead and remove the gaskets from here and from here. And then you're going to clean up the valve cover itself. Give it a good wash in your parts washer or pressure washer, however you want to clean it. Get it nice and clean. Then we're going to clean the cylinder head surface here. So when you clean, you want to make sure you don't wipe the dirt and debris into the cylinder head. You want to wipe when you do your wiping. Make sure you wipe away. And and then here And right here, there's gonna be a little bit of silicone. You need to scrape the old silicone off and clean this surface all the way around. The better you clean it, the more likely you have a good seal.
So I'm going to be using a Felpro gasket here. This is the part numbers. I will link this up in the description of the video. That way if you need to pick that up, you can get those there. So now you're just going to take your new gasket and then install it into the cover by pushing it into the little grooves like this and making sure it's flush all the way around, and the tube seals in the middle also. Before you reinstall the valve cover gasket, I recommend that you use a little bit of black silicone. Here at the at How to Automotive, we use a brand called Permatex called the Right Stuff. And you're going to take that silicone and you're going to put a little dab right here and here where the timing cover meets the cylinder head. And that'll prevent any leaks there. I will put a link in the description for the Right Stuff. That way if you need to pick silicone up, you can get that there. Now you're ready to reinstall the valve cover. So when you go to put this in, you're going to take one hand and push the wiring harness out of your way like this, and push the wiring harness on the other side away, and then drop the valve cover straight down. Once you got it straight down, I recommend you use a dental mirror and look all the way around the valve cover to make sure that the gasket didn't fall off, or any wires or anything are pinched in between the gasket, and just look all the way around and double check. Now you're going to tighten the bolts down, and you're going to start in the center right here. And you'll tighten that one down, then you'll move here and then here. And you're going to do this in a crisscross pattern like this. And then you just keep in and out until all 10 of the bolts are snug. And I recommend you do this in a couple passes. So now you can drop your coils back into the cylinder head like this. Start all 4 of the bolts and then plug in the electrical connectors. Before you plug in the last coil, put the bolts in for the wiring harness, and then you can plug the coil in like this. Now you can reinstall the PCV hose and put the clamp back on. My hose has broken here for the vent line here, and it won't be here in time to finish this video, so I'm just going to walk you through the steps. You're just going to pop it off right here and then reinstall it right there onto the valve cover. Now you're ready to reinstall the top engine cover. So you just lay it over the valve cover and start the 2 bolts. Once you got the cover re-secured, that'll complete the job of replacing the valve cover gasket on a 2005 through 2010 Scion TC. I'm Brian Essick from How to Automotive, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this, and also to remind you that I will link up all the parts and tools that are used in this video in the description. That way if you need to pick any of those up, you can find those there. Thank you again for watching.